Hey yo, welcome back to the top. The name is Gearhart and the game is Pokemon, and today, as you can see, I am bringing you week 5 of the GBA D-League versus George of the San Francisco Arcaniners. His links will be in the description below. Great guy, great battler. He's freaking 4-0 so far. He's just on another level, but I did predict his team relatively well. That the one coin flip being the Seismitoad, but of course I'm not going to not prepare for that. And if you want to check out what my team does, go ahead and check out the pregame, but you can see what Pokemon we brought. And yes, this is kind of a re-upload because I wanted to change a few things. But I'm going to predict him to predict my Jolteon lead and lead off with Samael, the N Mega, to catch his Seismitoad off guard, which I do. But guess what? He's already one step ahead of me because he goes out into the Goodra, which has the Sap Sipper, as I go for the Giga Drain, which is, I mean, it's going to suck because now he's at +1, and he's just using Goodra so well. John, aka Pokemon, would be proud. I mean, he is proud, probably. But I do go for the Protect to scout out what he would do, and he just goes straight with the Draco Meteor. So I know he's mixed at this point. I know, and I'm wondering if he's baiting me into this. But I do go for the switch anyways, and I go out into the Registeel, and he proceeds to go for the Earthquake. That's what I mean by baiting me into this thing, because now this thing is pretty much useless because well, I could switch out into my Mesprit, but I kind of need it for the Landorus because otherwise I wouldn't have any switch for it. So I wasn't about to make any rash switches, so I had to just stay in and just lose the Registeel turn like 4. So now I have to go into High Pixie because this thing is +1 defense and, physical offense. But now I'm just going to set up the Reflect, so then that will negate that +1. But he's going to Dragon Tail me out into the Tentacruel, which is misgened, because it's supposed to have Ice Beam, and because I don't have Ice Beam, I just decided to go for Scald since I'm not really willing to take any other hit, and I actually get the burn, so that was lucky for me, unlucky for him. But he does go for the Draco Meteor, which means I could have Mirror Coated. I could have Mirror Coated, but instead I didn't. I don't think that would have mattered anyways, just because that did so little. It might have done maybe about a little bit over half of what he had, but in the end, I don't think it really mattered. But I'm going to go ahead and switch up predicting the Earthquake. I think I go back into the High Pixie, I do. And, yeah, he's also going to switch out because his Goodra's basically useless at this point. It's just a de facto Draco Meteor, and he's just going to go ahead and switch into this thing, the Toad, while I just switch out using the U-turn. And so this is all in the same turn, so I believe he's going to set up his rocks on this turn. But I go back into Kraken because he pretty much knows I have Giga Drain. He doesn't even need to do that because I wouldn't have used it against the Goodra. And, well, yeah. So, against the, because there's no reason to use Ice Beam right now. Well, if I had Ice Beam, I probably would have used it. But then, if he knew that, he probably wouldn't have switched into Landorus here. But I do go for the Giga Drain. I reveal it. I do reveal it. But it's unfortunate. And I was considering staying in and considering staying out or switching out. But I ended up switching out into High Pixie to take any attack. And he does go for the Substitute, which is pretty unfortunate. But what I do know is that an Ice Punch will break the Substitute. Oh, by the way, this Mesprit was also misgen to have Calm Nature and not Careful, which I have 5 physical attacks, but I'm not going to have a chance to use it anyways because he gets a crit from out of nowhere. So now I'm in a really bad position. He's behind a sub, and I basically need to sack off the Jolteon just to break the sub, which is very, very, very unfortunate. It's like, how am I supposed to fix this? I mean, I legit can't even fix a sandwich right now. That's how bad of a position I'm in. But I break this up, and he's just going to knock out the Jolteon. The crit really kind of hurt me, and it set me back even more. And then that's really bad. Everything's looking really bad. At this point, I think I lose. The Reflect wears off. But right now, I'm just trying to save differential. So I've been through this situation in my head many, many times. And I have to just click Dragon Dance, because I know he's going to switch out into the Arcanine. So, all I gotta do is click Dragon Dance. I know the Intimidate's coming. Unfortunately, the rocks aren't up like I would hoped. But, instead, I misclick, unfortunately, and go for the Outrage, which is really bad because he also has the Rocky Helmet. And I'm pretty much locked in that Outrage, which is pretty bad because all he's gonna do is just Morning Sun, Morning Sun, Morning Sun. This basically locked it in that he was gonna blow me out, to be honest. Because if I go for the Dragon Dance, then I'm a little bit better just because I don't have to go for Outrage, because Earthquake would do better, and then I wouldn't have to suffer Rocky Helmet damage, because on this turn I am going to get confused. It's going to pop the Lumberry, and then he's going to burn me, so then I have no way to heal that up. So it's very unfortunate that that had to happen, but George is just playing on another level this season, and he's just doing exactly what he needs to do. He's just playing by the book, and I apparently have just misplaced the book. So he's just doing the best he can, really. But he's just going to Morning Sun on my Earthquake, which isn't going to take it out, unfortunately. And he's just going to go right back up. So everything's looking pretty bad. But the Arcanine will get the knockout right here as it goes to the extreme speed, because priority is a factor in here. So, or at least a factor in Pokemon and the League. And a League format is what I meant to say. But now I'm going to go out into Kraken, the Tentacruel. All is lost. All I'm trying to do is avoid a 5 or a 6-0. And he's going to switch out to preserve the 6-0 as he goes right back out into the Goodra, because he knows this thing gets walled by his Goodra. And I'm just going to go for the Scald. Not going to do anything. Going to get burned a little bit more. Of course, now I'm just going to continuously go for Scald, because that's all I can really do. I could have gone for the Mirror Coat here, but I also get a crit. I was considering Mirror Coat, but I didn't reveal it yet, but he just goes for the Dragon Tail to try to throw my Yanmega out to get knocked down by the Stealth Rocks to about half. And he's also going to get knocked down by half, but he's also going to switch out and trying to preserve that 6-0 still. As he brings in the Zapdos, which pretty much walls this Yanmega, and that's pretty much game, set, match, as George will in fact get the 6-0. The second 6-0 in a row, actually. I'm not sure if somebody has ever done that in the GBA at all, but it's really unfortunate how things went down. But George played exactly how I needed to, played great. Unfortunately, I couldn't give him the rematch that I was hoping for. And at this point, I think I was a little bit bitter. Not because I lost, at the time at least. Not because I lost, but it's because I had been building this rematch up so much, and then for it to go down this way, it kind of hurt a bit. But now I actually have a goal. This is not about making it to the playoffs and eventually the finals to try to win it. It's about getting that true rematch against George. That's what I want to do. That is what I want to do. But unfortunately, we're going to have to... Well, not unfortunately, what am I saying? But we actually are going to have to break this losing streak, because we've lost 3 in a row. We've lost 3 in a row so far. And our next opponent is Mike M&J TV of the Houston Gastros, so we'll see if we can break this losing streak against him, because the first step is to win this next game, and then try to qualify for the playoffs, then qualify for the finals, then I hope I can get that rematch that I have always been hoping for in the last year. But now I'm strived and determined to get there, but I have to get through the first step, because that's just how it is. So if you did enjoy, crack the like button down below, because it is addicting, and I will see you next time. Hopefully we're winners, because that is how we do it. Go down to the Landorus. That was the stupidest thing you could have done, because it's a hidden power ice. What are you thinking? I think I carry Air Slash. You're going to take a Sun Boosted Flamethrower, and I don't think you're going to like it very much.